Okay. So I put a post. Right, okay, that's better. Now the mic's turned on. Right, the way I've got it set up, unfortunately, is it's a little bit of arse work to play the music whilst I'm talking at the moment. Anyway, I've gathered you here this evening to chat about the mx1 and my problems and troubles with it. So I'm going to play you a little video that I did yesterday, and then we're going to compare it to what I've got today, which is just unbelievable. It's magic, it really is. And this guy over here is the one that solved all my troubles, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Right, I hope you can hear me. I hope everything is going okay at the moment. Why is that still play? Oh, okay, yeah. Right, okay, so this is another professional appearance of Pierrot the Acid Clown, let's talk kind of thing. So yeah, this is about the mx1 and the troubles that I'm having with the mx1. The trouble I've been having with the mx1 is with the digital input. Yesterday, before I did the video, I had 5 unusable inputs. Okay, two of the PC ports were being taken up, and all of the digital inputs were useless, because when I plugged a digital to analog converter in, it would pull the whole thing down. It was ridiculous. So I take one MX out, people need to realize this, so I take one MX out and use the controller with it, everything was fine. The controller, the adapter, everything was fine. It all sounded good, there was nothing wrong with it, everything was absolutely pucker. And then I chuck it back in here, and then for some reason it started to pull things down. But you'll see that in the video. So I'm going to play that video now. That video lives here. So I'm going to disappear off the mic for 2 seconds, and you just listen to this. Okay. So I put a post up today about the mx1 and the digital converters and things. Right. I've got me a digital converter. I've got the cable. It's all plugged in. It's going into there. All right. I'll just quickly show you what thingy we're on. I don't know if you can see that, but that definitely says 48 there. Okay, that's what everybody's telling me. Everybody needs to be on 48. Okay, fine, no problem. I'll wear that. All right. Can you hear that pulling down? Right, let's try it on 41. Nothing is now coming out of the digital channel. Excuse me while I just put my headphones back in. So, I've narrowed it down to it being 48. Okay, I can't get any sound out of it with 41, and I can't get any sound out of it with 96. This is just using this adapter. Okay. Everything else is working, apart from that channel there. So we'll pop it back to 48. Says 48. Can you hear that? Tell me you can hear that. When I put my headphones into this one, it sounds fine. And I've changed the settings on this one to match this one, and it still does the same thing. Okay? Now, let's pull that out. Okay? Can you hear how much smoother that runs and that there's no pulling down? This is the problem I am having. Okay? When I pull one MX out and put the digital converter in it, it all works fine. When I bring it to all three, that pumping happens. And I'm just going to show you that pumping one last time. Alright. Take my cable, pop my cable into the digital, and instantly I can hear that pull down. Right, let's listen to what it sounds like. And this is what I'm fighting. If somebody out there has information that will help me, that would be amazing. If you're just going to tell me that the box or the Behringer bass amp needs to be at the same hertz as the MX1, I will literally throat punch you. Now, you've all seen the problems I am having, okay? And I've tried 3 different converters, 2 different bass amps, and 2 different cables. This problem still happens. All you people out there with 1MX, yeah, it works fine. Absolutely fine. I can get it working beautifully with 1MX. When I put all 3 together, this happens. Just to clarify, I'm going to pull the cable out again. Instantly that pumping is gone and everything sounds smooth. So if you have some information out there that will help me, I am all ears. But I have tried everything else and this is the results I'm getting. 1MX, 1 digital converter, no problem. As soon as I put it back into my 3MX setup, I get the pull down. So, I hope that has clarified the problem that I'm having here, because I think a lot of you don't kind of realise the problem that I'm actually having, and it's ridiculously hard for you to diagnose a problem from several thousand miles away. So, I'm going to put this video up, and if anyone out there has any useful information for me, please let me know. But if you're just going to tell me that the MX needs to be on 48 or 41 or whatever, I've done that about 1,000 times. So, you've all seen the problems I'm having. If anybody has a workaround, please let me know. I will see you tonight for the URL at 7:30. Slick, eh? Unfortunately, you won't see me this evening for the URL because the URL is not happening this evening. It happened the other day. Okay, so I hope you can all hear me now. I might just turn that up a tiny little bit. Right. So, yeah, that was my problem. And going into yesterday, I had 5 unusable sockets in the MX1. And like I say, I put the post up, and loads of people, you know, bombarded me with information that I kind of already knew. You know, they were like, the MX1 has got to be on 41, 48, or 96. Anyway, whatever the numbers were, they were. You know, and some guy was like, "Oh, maybe try taking the mastering off." I'm like, "I have," and he was like, "You haven't in the video." I'm like, "No, but I have before in the past. Literally, I've tried fucking everything. Honestly, it drove me nuts for the longest amount of time. I don't know if you saw my London gig when I went to London and played there. I used the digital converter. I would show you it, but I packed it away now. And the digital converter worked absolutely fine. And the whole gig was a success. I even used one of the auxes on the MX as an input, and everything went down smoothly. It was beautiful. So with 1MX, everything works. And going into yesterday, I had a total of 5 unusable inputs. Let me just have a look at the questions. Manuel, I don't know what the problem is, but I have a fix. He says digital mixer needs a clock, and it has no master or what, so does it get all connected together? Don't know. But honestly, the fix just deals away with all of this, and I'll explain the fix in a minute. Maybe the MX1 compensates according to the number of inputs dynamic range. Nope, I don't think that's it at all. But if when the digital converter was plugged into the old setup, it would pull everything down, not just that one acid line, but everything in that MX, it would pull down and put that thump on everything. And I tried, you know, setting them all to different ones, set them all to the same ones, you know, all kinds of God knows what. Anyway. All right, let me just show you this again, because honestly, this dude here Yeah, just, oh, yeah, he is the one that sorted it out. But wait 2 seconds. I almost answered my own question whilst I was in that video. Did you hear me say when I put my headphones in here, it all sounds fine? And I missed this, and I didn't pick up on this, and it drives me insane. So what was I telling myself there that I completely missed? And it was, this input works. And I'm over here with this fucking digit. The USB is trying to go, I'm trying to make this work, but Mark, this one works. Yeah, but this one over here needs working. The USB needs to work. Everything over here, I'm trying to get. Yeah, but this one works. And I didn't listen to myself. And I'm kicking myself for it now, like you wouldn't believe. Just absolutely kicking myself for it because I missed it so much. And anyway, so I put a post up in the group, in lots of groups. In lots of groups, asking if anybody had a fix, and everybody just kept giving me the same sort of information. And then Felipe popped up, whose studio I love. He's got a massive space station, he really has, and his music's really good. So he popped up and said, you've got 3, yeah? Yeah, I've got 3. And he said, well, you've got a digital input, why not just link the 2 together? What this man did is insane. He saw me running up against the door, trying to butt my head through this fucking door of USB-ness. Come on, get through this USB. We will make it work. I'll get through it. I will make this work. It will happen. I'll change my converters. Anyway, I'm running against this door, and he's basically just tapped me on the shoulder and went, there's a back door over there. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying to get in here. And he's like, there's a back door. Yeah, but back door? Yeah, mate, back door over there. And it's open. Oh my God. Instantly I was like, why didn't I think of this? The only saving grace for Roland and my digital nightmare is the fact that the digital inputs are also outputs. And I've been trying to crack my head against this USB problem, not realizing that all inputs and outputs are inputs and outputs. You know, I'm trying to get it over USB because, you know, that's the way, you know, they're linked together, they run MIDI, they run, you know, it should work this way, and blah, 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 blah. No. No. So, it's insane. That is literally his fix. Literally his fix. So now I've got this digital output going into the digital input over here, and she runs my synths. And they sound crisper than they have ever sounded before in the past. So yeah, so now this MX, the synth MX, goes into my main MX through the digital port. So technically, the only useless channel I've got now is this one because it's sending out. However, now I have every other input free to me, and I've got 3 freed up slots. So from taking what did I have in here? I had this MX in this USB port and this MX in this USB port. And just by taking them out of the USB port, moving them into the digital, and then being able to put the Behringer Model D through actually it's this TD3 through the digital input, and it works. There's no pull down, nothing. Listen to how crisp it is. Because of the way I've shuffled things around, I now have all the inputs available to me, and only one that's useless. Because it's sending it as an out, it's ridiculous. And now I've got all 3 PC ports available to be able to track into Ableton as well. It's honestly just by shuffling it around a bit. Like, I can't believe I didn't see this before. But yeah, no pulling down, no nothing. That was unbelievable. So I guess the moral of the story is think outside the box, and this is what I say to people all the time. And it was just that one comment when he was like, well, you can link them, can't you? You know, One's an out, one's an in. Saves you using a USB then. My God, it does. And then when I do that, this works as well. So now I have use of those digital inputs, even though one's an out. It's insane. Oh, there's been a lot of mic is clipping. Yeah, probably. It's a little hot here. And but another thing, I couldn't get the the VT4 loud enough in my setup to be able to for you guys to hear it, and now I can. Like honestly, it's just ridiculous. My hum's still there, so you know, swings and roundabouts, I guess. But yeah, it's honest. It's just brought I can turn everything down now nicely, and you can hear bits and pieces so much better. It is absolutely ridiculous. Oh yeah, there was blatantly going to be issues with that. I haven't quite sorted it out yet. I spent most of the day today EQing things, and that's another thing that that this enabled me to do, is now pull everything down a bit. I did a gig one time, and Leaf came up to me and said, "You might want to turn your levels down a bit." And I'm like, "I can't." And that at the time I was going through the chaos pads, 3 chaos pads. So trying to get things loud enough to be able to hear it was almost impossible. But now, you know. Because of the way things are structured over here, the fact that Jimmy Scavenger has given me an amp and I've now got a sound card, I can get things up to a level where I can hear them clearly. So again, moral of this story is make sure that your audio is clean and crisp and clear, and get some good monitors, you know. Okay, any questions or anything? Yes, headroom time indeed. So it gives me more space to be able to get the tunes louder or more crisper or sounding better and not quite so muddy, you know, which is, you know, a massive thing with it within making music. And literally everything sounds so crisp at the moment. So much more depth there, clarity. I don't know how it sounds out there to you, but that's how it, you know, that's how it's coming across from the studio to me at the moment. So yeah, it's such a simple fix, and this has been driving me crazy for literally months. And yeah, so like Felipe, thank you very much for coming up with that info, and literally it was, you know, totally different to what everybody else was saying. You know, they were saying, check that this matches this, and I'm like, yeah, I've done that, and they're like, that one needs to be on 96. I'm like, yeah, I know, I've had it working twice before, you know, and yeah, and this guy just out of the blue. So you know, I almost regretted putting it on the net, really, because everybody was just giving me info that I'd already had, and it was getting frustrating when people weren't quite understanding the problem, you know. And like I say, I've got absolutely no idea what the problem was at all. So maybe something to do with USB, who knows? But yeah, link this one to this one via an SPDIF cable, turn this one's digital output to an out, turn it to an in over here, and it now becomes my synth. mx1, which, you know, it's sounded crisper from the start.
5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels.
And another thing that I've managed to do, now that I have moved this all around, is have the sampler go through a mini chaos pad and then into the Demora.
Despite our best efforts, illegal
and I've just
cocaine
turned it
is
off.
coming into our country.
This is another thing about the mx1. They get bashed a lot because they've not got enough analog inputs, and that is correct. They do not have enough analog inputs. However, you can get around this. There are synths out there, the JDXI, the Jupiter XM. Don't quote me on this. There are about I don't know, 18, 19 synths that will go into an aira port. Yeah, there are about that many synths that will go into an airport. However, there are little boxes like this. They are called the EFX units, and unfortunately, there are only 4 in the range, and they do go through into the Aira compatible USB ports, which is great. I had some problem with mine. It wouldn't accept power from the powered port today, which was a bit of a nightmare, so I had to do a little bit of a rejiggle, but now it does. Yeah, they're not cheap, but if you can pick them up cheaply, it's a great way to get another line into. And because of the shuffle around, I had to use the stereo input here for this MX1. And again, it sounds cleaner than the USB channel. So crazy. And yeah. Where were we? We were talking about this. Oh yeah, this one, the Demora. So this is what it sounds like without.
Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it.
These are my new samples, by the way.
Illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it.
Now I'm going to turn on the
Despite our
Demora.
best efforts,
I'll show you the chaos pad
cocaine
first.
is regular.
So that's what I'm doing with the chaos pad on that.
Cocaine is coming into our country
and then
at
it goes into
alarming
this.
levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is in the country at a lot, and 4 to 5 million people. Despite our best efforts, illegal, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our country at alarming levels, and 4 to 5 million people regularly use it. Despite our best efforts, illegal cocaine is coming into our Despite our best efforts, illegal.
So, in conclusion, that one little simple thing that one guy perchance happened to say is link them up via the digital sockets has opened up another world for me. I've got an analog input, I've got 2 USB inputs, and don't forget, going into this yesterday, I had 5 useless inputs. And I was maxed out. I couldn't put any more anywhere else. That was the end of that. And then this guy said to me, just link them up. USB to, ditch the USB. Put them through the digital channels. And honestly, the quick reshuffle around took me 5 hours yesterday, but I did it. The manual says, yeah, something like this is for sure not on the default test list for the MX1. Wonder how Roland's report would have responded. Maybe send them a report and ask if they have more undocumented hints on this. It's funny you say that, because I do talk to Roland, not like regular. We ain't buddies or nothing. We don't go out for a beer or any shit like that. You know, we don't share a joint or anything. No, but I do talk to him a little bit. And I said I sent him the video, and then he came back with a couple more questions, like how are they linked, what's going in, and how are you doing it. And I'm like, right, that. He's like, right, I'll go and ask Japan. I was like, well, can't say fairer than that. And then literally, as I stopped doing the URL on Tuesday night, that I saw that comment that Felipe put in, and literally I'm like, oh, I'm going to bed, and I saw the comment, and I'm like, I wonder if that'll work. So literally got up, started testing things and putting things in. I'm like, oh my god, it does. First of all, just literally putting the cable through. I was like, okay, that works, that's fine, that's excellent. And then dragging all the digital bits out. Oh, the converter's actually here, sorry. Yeah, the digital to analog converter is just down here. And it's coming out of the TD3 and going into the digital channel over here. The irony of an analog synth going in through a digital channel is not lost on me. So this is what she sounds like. That's an analog bassline synthesizer going through the digital inputs and then back out of the digital input into, yeah, it's insane. But yeah, it sorted out my hassles. It really did, and I am forever in Felipe's debt. Because it means I don't have to sell my Model D. Like I say, I was maxed out. I can now dream about a System 8, a Jupiter XM, and a Hydrosynth. And I'm done. Somebody the other day, might have been today actually, said, why two TD303s? Strange question. A, they're cheap as fuck. Call and response. Why two TD303s, honestly? So what are the comments saying? Someone says, nice to see it resolved. Yes, it was. I find your setup really oversized, awesome. But I already have cable problems with 3 machines. Yeah, sad life. Honestly, you get problems all the way up the board, which is why, you know, when people were giving, like, I've got a hum here, and it's driving me fucking batshit crazy. It doesn't come across on the stream, which is great, but I you know, I've tried fucking everything to try and sort this hum, and it just won't go. So I'm gonna have to live with it, or as far as I can tell, it won't, you know. But yeah, people are giving like really daft, like, oh, cut up leads, and I'm like, I am not cutting up leads and plugging them into a wall, you know. Oh yeah, sticking like this I considered stick a spike in the ground and run an earth cable out to it, and I'm like, that would probably work, you know, but I live the story up. It's not going to be easy, you know. So, yeah, maybe that's out the window. Yes, thank you, Astrid. Nice to hear about your experiences and talking about them step by step so you could hear the solution. The thing is, when I started out making music, nobody wanted to show me anything, you know, which is why I didn't delve into Ableton, because it's a bit daunting when you've got no idea, you know. And tutorials weren't around when I started making music, or not in the, you know, the shape that they are now. So I never really delved into software, hardware. I'm like, oh, I can understand what this is. This is a drum machine kind of thing. If somebody had pointed me in the right direction a little bit earlier on, I would have been fucking, you know, miles ahead of where I am right now. And that's hopefully what I'm doing here, is giving somebody else, like, the chances of anybody owning three mx1s is slim. I fucking know. I'm the only idiot. Well, I'm one of Felipe's got 4 actually, I think. And so somebody else, and I can't remember his name. Oh, no, it's not Carl Phoenix, is it? It's someone else. But anyway, there are a few of us out there. But you know, the whole reason I have 3 MX1s is because a usual Mackie desk is about 32 channels. That's wearable, you know. 32 channels is, you know, you can do a lot with 32 channels. At the moment, I now have 32 channels available to me to use. Okay, so I can, you know, I don't use the PC ports at the moment, but I can send that out to Ableton at the moment to track. And providing Ableton will talk nicely to all of my MX1s, because it hasn't talked nicely to all 3, but that might be because this one never had an update, this one was on update 2, and this one was on update 3. So that might play a factor. I'm going to look into that tomorrow, because I've got people who are looking for remix work and stuff as well. So, where are we? Tiny White says, I have 4 TB303s. You can never have enough 303s. Well, this is the thing, you know, they all sound different. They you know. There's one. Here's another. And this is like the redhead of the 303 family. Need some EQ work done on that, methinks. But that is the TB3. It's the touchscreen one. It's absolutely horrible. Ah! Honestly, there's nothing like nice about it. It's all really harsh and. So yeah, so I basically use this one for a sample player and try and stay away from the acid air kind of noises, because I mean, listen to that, rich anal log. The MB down here doing a completely different job. And while we're here, she goes through that one. She goes through the aux as well, which is a slicer pedal, SL20 slicer pedal, and she sounds like this. And of course, a mini chaos pad. And that's through the aux. And this is what she sounds like with her original line as well. I just think the NAM has got such a, the MAM, sorry, has got such a nice sound to it. It's ridiculous. So this is the original line, and it comes from the Zox. That is an added distortion from Matthias Soccer. All the same line again, all the same line. And now we'll bring the MB in. Actually, I'll show you what it sounds like without the slicer. Fairly good. Now let's see the slicer on it. Can you hear the panning? So, again, another thing that having 32 channels does is enables you to have extra lines for your synth. So if you've got 2 ports of out on your synth, make the most of them. You know, there's 4 lines for that particular acid line. There's the original bass from that one. There's the MAM that gives the squeeze squeeze, and then there's the distorted line from the original. And this is what they sound like. So, original line, distorted, MB on slice. So yeah, that's another great reason to have as many inputs as you can. Double up on your sound, you know. With this MX1, I have a lot of delays going on for the 303s. So this MX1 is dedicated to drums and master, has everything going in it, the hats and stuff, and the TR8 over here as well. How crisp everything is at the moment. Honestly, being able to this just boosted everything so much. It's like funny. Michael Bath. Yes, I kind of just touched on this. I don't know if you've already said that. I thought those Roland Aira mixers were dedicated inputs that won't accept non-Aira gear. Yeah, that's right. There are 4 inputs on each that don't accept non-Aira gear, but like I said, you can get anything into them via one of their EFX unit. I picked up the Bic Razor for about £110. I nearly bit the guy's arm off. I was like, I'll take that off you, thank you very much. And he was like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'll take that one. I bought this one and this one a long time ago when my granddad left me some money, but because they are expensive, they were about $240, something like that. It is expensive just to get another line in. However, when it does this to your
I remember reaching into a box full of cocaine and taking out, putting them in my pocket and walking out. It's not that difficult to take away.
So essentially, the Roland SP555 is not Aira, but it is going in over Aira port 2 because it goes through a mini Chaos pad, which splits the thing, goes left and right into the inputs on the Demora, and then the Demora goes USB in. The Demora is a delay. So there, let me just grab my phone and see if let's have a look at the comments a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, that is, like I say, there are about 18 synths that you can put through there, but the boutiques, I've got a boutique down here, they're okay. This is a boutique, and again, I love my System 1. They all go over USB and don't require MIDI, and I love this synth. However, I have got this synth midied up to the K2, but it only works when there is a line running. So K2, very finicky synth. Almost the kick drum now, and she is backed up by that. Yeah, somebody says my voice distorts like crazy when you have these synths going. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's going, like I say, it's going through the VT3. So it's not a pro setup here. It really isn't. And that is the K2 chuntering away to itself. There we go. So yeah, you can get other things in, but that's aira in, that's aira in, those two are aira in, that's aira in, that's aira in. So yeah, and you know, coming back to the TD3s, this TB303 has 3 lines, because I can afford to do it. It's got 3 outs. Let's if it's got 3 outs, let's get it working. So that's the original line. The distorted line. And a bit razor. And they all sit. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Brain on drugs.
What will you do when someone offers you drugs?
just say yes!
I can't hear you. Louder.
Just say yes!
That's wonderful.
Please. That's your slogan, say no to drugs.
I think my signal was a little bit hot coming out of here. So yeah, I may have pushed that a little bit too far. But like I say, this is the first time I've set this rig up like this, and I was testing bugs today, and I wanted to see if the fix for the MX that I did yesterday worked, and it did. The only thing that I needed to do, for some reason, when I tested it on the night, with no cables connected to them, all three fired off MIDI absolutely perfectly. And then when I rewired yesterday, they wanted MIDI cables. Apart from this one, for some reason, which isn't even the master one. This is the master. Somehow was how this is getting MIDI from somewhere else. But they all, like you say. I forgot that I had tampered with sound earlier and didn't adjust the chaos pad, which is where the output sounds to you guys. Hopefully, that should be better. It's got very quiet for me in the studio. Well, thank you very much for joining me. This evening. Anybody else got any questions? Yeah, see, pulled the sound back. Oh no, do you know what? Do you know what I've done? I've done this whole thing. Yep. Ass monkeys. I've done the whole thing. Oh, with the filters on. God damn it! Oh, I've done the whole thing with the filters on in OBS, and I should have turned those off first. Ah! Okay, well this has been a failed attempt at a Let's Talk. I think I should disappear now before. Before. Oh, how long have we been streaming for now? And I've only just realised 55 minutes. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. I forgot to turn the filters off. Guys, I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. The sound was awful. This is what it should sound like. Sounds loads better, I hope so. One, two. And I also think that I should use the mic coming in from this one because it's a lot healthier until I get the thingy done. Yeah, that's what it should sound like, people. I'm really sorry. All those times I was enjoying myself making music and you could have been enjoying it, listening to it, and yeah. Oh. And I worried about so much before fucking coming on as well. Ass monkeys. Well, I guess the information is good. Yeah, I guess the information is good here. Everyone's saying, yeah, that Christmas kick is crisp as fuck. Oh, lummy. Well, just to prove that I can make a good sound. Wild. There we go. So yeah, oh hello. So yeah, the information here is still correct, even though the audio was a bunch of wank. I do apologise about that. I guess that's it. Yeah, that was my problems with the MX1 and how I overcame it, and you know, some of the functions that the MX1 brings. Here's another function that the MX1 brings. On the fly. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, in conjunction with the Chaos Pad, the BFX are wonderful, and they also have like a filter sidechain and a slicer over here, which you can put on any track individually. I wish they had that this was individual, but unfortunately it is global. So I use it for like the drum hitty bits on this one. And I use the delay down here on this one. I haven't really gotten one locked down in and the top one yet. Anyway. Sorry that the audio was a bit crap, people, but the information's good. Can't win them all! Nearly 800 videos on YouTube and 140,000 views. Not all of them are going to be crisp and smooth. Right, I am going to leave you with something. No off switch, which is Oliver Gould and Jimmy Scavenger remixing Danger Zone. So listen to this. So